Welcome, podcast fans. It's time for the What's Up Bro podcast show presented by J&J Production Studios, the home for all your entertainment needs. All kinds of great topics discussed every week, a variety of different themes offered, special guest appearances, prize giveaways, and so much more. Stay tuned. And now, here are your hosts, Sam Crow and Big Hoss.
What's up, everybody? Good evening to you all. Saturday night. Hope you all are having a phenomenal week. We are glad to be back with you here. It is, of course, me, Sam Crow, and Big Hoss. How are you, Big Hoss?
I'm doing pretty good.
I know we got a coax. Big Hoss said he was going to bed. I said, I don't think so, not tonight, because we got a reprieve. He got a reprieve rather last night. So,
well, it's not my fault you were late.
No. I mean, I didn't get a chance to message saying it might be a little bit delayed there, but we're good there. But we was able to coax him to not go to sleep just yet.
I thought you were no call, no sleep.
No, I wasn't doing that. You didn't. I don't even think you did. You might try to call me. I didn't check there, but no, I'm good. We're here, and we're glad all of you guys are here. We hope you're looking forward to the weekend. It's going to be a great weekend. It's Super Bowl Sunday. This coming tomorrow, actually, and the weather's getting nicer. We're getting some good weather out there, which is also fantabulous. I'm so grateful that spring is coming. I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. Let's get our ambiance. I need something in the background because it's just too quiet where I'm sitting here. Let me see if I can get this playing here. Hold on. You can't hear it anyway, so it won't matter for you. Let's just see. As long as I make sure commercials don't... of course it's going to play a commercial, isn't it? Yeah. Every time it never fails. Hold on a second. There we go. Fortunately, it's easy enough to work around. There we go. Yeah, it's been quite a busy one for everybody. A lot of things going on there. So, again, we adapt, we adjust. We're still working on some scheduling there. We're going to have a new video out for you guys there, too. You can check it out on YouTube. I made another appearance on the Pod Z Quad podcast. Was on there Thursday night. If you didn't have a chance to see that, we'll be sharing that once we have it. It was a little rough. Paul's probably didn't watch, so I gotta share this story with this because this is so, this one to talk about embarrassing moments that we don't learn about, and we do, but this is definitely going to be up there with them, just because you had to be there for it. But so I got the invite, kind of like we do with Hosser. We get the invite to come on to the show, and we started the episode. Everything started. Deanie got the show started. You guys know our good friend Deanie, which Hoss and I are going to need to make an appearance. I got to see if I can schedule that soon. Started the show, and I noticed something rather strange, and it seemed like there was some kind of delay there, which was odd. Hadn't had that happen before. It almost seemed like it started out of the blue. And so it was driving me nuts because I'm like, I can't be on the show here because I can't focus and concentrate on the show because there's such a delay that it's hard to really have a conversation because I'm getting everything secondhand. Is that popcorn you got there?
No.
Oh, okay. I could go for some popcorn. But anyway.
But yes, it is.
So, yeah, as I say, it's kind of popcorn we have. I need to make some. I've been wanting to make it, haven't had a chance. It was funny because it took me a while, but I finally realized what it was. And I decided to share the link for the YouTube video on all of our social media platforms, which you guys can check out if you haven't already. And for some reason, which I didn't know this, because I had the tabs pulled up on the computer, so obviously when I have the web browser pulled up, I leave all the tabs open. Well, on Twitter X, as we call it, it started playing. And it was feedbacking through my headset, so I was talking live, but then it was kicking back from the audio there. But it took me 20 minutes. I'm like, what is this going on here? This is driving me bananas. What the hell? So I finally looked, I'm like, oh, that's what it is. Got it to shut off. I'm like, geez, I don't have to do that again. I'm sitting there going, I hear voices, there's voices going on, because it's, looping over and over, and then he's like, try going out and coming back in. I did that, I'm like, I didn't do nothing, and I can still hear it. I'm like, why can I still hear them? Because I'm not in the chat with them. I can still hear them. I was like, there's ghosts in here or something, what is going on? So then I looked at the icon, and I looked at the tabs up there. I saw the little, the sound indicator. I'm like, son of a gun. I clicked on it, and I'm like, oh, it's feeding through that. That's why. So I stopped it. I'm like, thank goodness, because I could not have done the whole show. I'm like, I can't even answer questions, nothing, because I can't anything. It's just, and I heard myself. It was so weird. So it was pretty funny, but it's those little things, you learn and you figure out. And we've said it before all the time. When we started doing the shows here, took a while to get the audio figured out and how we wanted it and how it should sound, how it would sound, how we thought it sounded, and so it's really weird. I'm thinking to myself, I played with the settings and everything. I'm like, it can't be on my end because I'm not hosting this. So, but I just couldn't understand it. So you had to be there. It was just absolutely hysterical. But got it figured out. Things went well. But we're gonna try to make an appearance on his show. I did reach out to him, but I want to reach out to him again and see if we can schedule that because we're gonna get Hoss on there. We're gonna have a good time with that. If you guys want to check that out, we'll keep you posted soon. But yeah, so it's always fun. It's going to be a busy weekend, though. Are you doing anything for the big game tomorrow, or are you just kind of hanging out?
I got to go help take care of my mom's roommate. He just got out of surgery.
Oh, gee whiz. Well, that's going to, yeah. Oh, so you're going over to your mom's then. That'll be good. Well, at least you have some, good to go or hang out there for a while.
I'm going over there for the whole week.
Wow. Man. It's going to be something. You looking forward to it?
Not really.
Any particular reason, or is there just too many reasons to name why you're not looking
forward? Really.
Because you're what?
Just not really.
Okay. Hopefully, Mom's not listening to this episode, because if she is, you have some splaining to do. But no, I get it. It's hard when you have. I mean,
Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
There it is. Yep, that's if you want to get the full effect. I haven't watched that in forever. No, it's hard sometimes. I mean, we've had. I like when my grandmother had surgery earlier in the summertime. I went down to stay with her a couple of days just because she can't really be alone. But sometimes you adjust things. A lot of times things happen and you don't always plan for that. But you still enjoy it. You still have fun with it. So you try to make the most of it anyway. So try to find the silver lining there. Try to find the bright side, if you will. That's probably the best advice I can give there. So we are having, well, it didn't start out this way. We've, over the last several years, had a little Super Bowl party-ish, where it's just the family coming up. So everybody's asking, so we decided to do it, and wasn't expecting the whole family, but the whole family's coming, so that's tomorrow night. Tomorrow we go to church in the morning, and then we come home, and then I have to go to work because we're having a work party, so I have to do that in between that, and I also try to get back because I do really want to take a nap. Yeah, so it's gonna be a jam-packed day, and then of course you go back to the start of the week and it starts all over again. But yeah, it's funny whether you plan it, and we always talk about like vacationing and stuff, and usually a lot of people, whenever you have a vacation time, you plan a block of time, whether you're traveling, staying at home, whatever. And even just weekends, though, in general. Like, everybody always does stuff on the weekends. Most people don't work weekends or do your extracurricular stuff or whatever you got going on. It's interesting. It's a lot of things that can happen all at once. So, very, very fun to... It can be fun, but at times can be daunting, can be taxing and tiring, depending on how busy it gets. And I still think about... And I remember we talked about this, too, when... during Labor Day, was it this past year? Had to be. Was that the year before? I'm losing. What are we on? 2024? No, I think it was the year before when we had the Labor Day weekend. We started our holiday specials we were doing, and I think I had a wedding to go to one weekend. You had a wedding to go to. It was like topsy turvy, flip flopping back and forth. So, and I remember that because I think it was a Saturday. I went to the wedding. And I forget, you were doing something. I remember I said, I'm going to come back. I got home, like, I'm beat. I'm like, I want to just do a small something just to give everybody something to listen to. I think I did like a short, like, 30-minute episode or something like that. But we did, like, that was such a jam-packed, I think we had, like, we did 7 episodes that weekend of shows. Because then I think it was that Sunday we had Ramsey on. That was the inaugural episode he came on. So it's funny, though, when things kind of just, kind of step up. Now, like we said... And it's just kind of going to some announcements, too, which we don't have confirmed yet, but you guys know we've been teasing. We may have our special celebrity guest for the year this year. But again, nothing's definite. We will be reaching out probably in another month or so. We'll see what happens. But we want to be we want to be flexible schedule wise, because that's kind of our goal is to be as flexible as possible with guests that come on, just because we want to respect everybody else's time that does it. But we want to plan that in advance. We're hoping to maybe get Mr. J back on the show. We're not sure. We're still in talks about having them join us on here. He'd like to continue to do his show. I haven't heard back. He's going to let us know. But it's fun when a lot of those things just kind of happen, and you're just sort of, you kind of roll with it. Some days you wish you weren't that busy. I know there's a lot of days I wish I wasn't that busy. Other days I kind of want to be busy, and it's just kind of, stop and fail. It kind of just goes. It's a vicious cycle, but it's fun though. Nevertheless, I guess in some cases it can be, can't be. I guess it just depends on how you look at it. So, even this case, you're going away for a week, and look at it as an adventure, because think about it. Like, where do you typically go? You're usually home. You don't go. So this is kind of like it's change of scenery in a manner of speaking. So, it's going to be kind of one of those. Look at it as an adventure. You can have fun. You can do whatever. So, where are you gonna? How are you gonna stay at your mom's? Does she have a room for you, or do you sleep in the living room? Like, how does that work? Typically.
I stay in her bed. She stays in her futon.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay. See, everything kind of works out. She have internet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're good. See that? I was waiting to say she has no internet. Like, yeah, you're gonna be Stone Aging it for the week, because back in the day when there's no internet, that's what's funny, because my grandmother doesn't have internet, so I have to use data and stuff when I'm there. But it was just for a couple of days, so I'm like, I can deal with that. It's not a big deal. But it's one of those oh man, I don't know if I could do this for a whole week, just because. I mean, it's nice, when we go on vacation, and I kind of sort of did this year. I did and I didn't, but I try to usually make a rule of I try to stay clear of my phone. I mean, I have it with me, but I don't try to use much during the week for on vacation, just because it's kind of like taking a break from taking a break kind of thing. Now, in some cases I have to. In the evenings I would check it, but I'm not super actively doing much, just because I'm taking a vacation from just about everything. I know a lot of you guys probably do that too. We all at some point in time have to do that. I remember actually, and it was funny, because back when I was working for the paper and deliver papers and stuff, I had my phone on because I had people that had to fill in for me when I took vacation, which was very rare. But I said otherwise. I said, I'm turning my phone off. I said, don't call me, don't text me. I want to sleep. I don't want to. And this is an emergency. Call me. But I literally took a day where I just turned my phone off. I'm like, yep, it can wait till tomorrow. No big deal. You kind of need those moments, so that's always a plus and a benefit there. But now that the weather's starting to get nice, I don't know about you out there in Colorado yet, but and when I say nice, I mean I've been outside on a nice day. It's 55 degrees out. That's really been warm compared to here. So I'm not sure. Are you getting a cold rush? I feel like there's still cold coming out west out there yet, but you may not have seen spring just yet. Now, according to...
It's snowing all day.
Has it? Wow. Are you getting any accumulation, or is it just
it's slowly melting.
Just like a dusting? Yeah, it's not sticking. Well, it's funny, because I said... Now, it's an old wives' tale for this, of course, but the Groundhog's Day, Groundhog sees a shadow, blah, blah, blah. According to that, we're supposed to have an early spring. Although I heard conflicting reports. I don't know. All I said was, if that groundhog predicts more winter weather and we get it, I'm going to end up shooting the groundhog. Better yet, I'll probably run him over, back up over, and run over him again, because we don't need any more wintertime. It's been fine, it's been dandy. I'm getting tired of the cold. I want to see this is warmer. I don't have to be super, super warm. But, what?
Did you hear the weather?
What's the weather?
6 to 8 inches on Tuesday.
See, why do you have to do that? Why do you have to pop my 6 to 8 inches of snow?
Or 8 to 12, depending on where it falls in the line.
Freaking Punxsutawney Phil. I'm telling you. Listen close. The groundhog comes out here, I'll have my shotgun out there for that one. You had to do it. Why can't we... You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is, though. I actually just found this out. It's actually a leap year this year. You know what leap year is? I don't know if you know what it is, but I don't want to assume. Do you know what a leap... Well, let's let him swallow your kernels first. Hoss is diving his head in the popcorn bag here.
No, I don't know what it is.
Leap year is... So the month of February, most calendar days, there's 31 days in the month, minus a couple of months have 30 days. February is the only month out of the year that only has 28 days. But a leap year is every 4 years. So every 4 years, which falls this year, there's 29 days. So February gets an extra day every 4 years. And it's like some kind of weird, like, usually there's like old legends of February 29th, like a bonus day, and it's like a mystery day. Like it could be like, super warm. It could be incredible. It's a weird kind of thing. But I suppose it can work in reverse where we know it's a leap year, and of course we're going to get snow. So, I don't know. I mean, listen, I have nothing against snow either, just so we're clear. It's just to a point where I get a little bit of it and enough, and I'm kind of like, I wanted a dusting for Christmas. We got no snow. We got rain, which is always a bummer. I don't know how it rains on Christmas. This is probably the third time I could think of over the last 10 years. So if we're getting that warm to have rain all the time, we should just bypass winter and go right to spring. That's all I'm saying. I mean, why must we go back and forth with this? This just doesn't make any sense. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older and it's one of those things. But I know spring's got to come soon enough. And of course, daylight getting here, we get more time during the day. It's always a lot of fun. So if you're a good hibernator, you're not going to be hibernating much longer anyway. But yeah, so there's that. But it is what it is. But game day weekend is always a tradition, which of course, obviously, not everybody loves sport. If you're a sports fan, love it. I will say this has been nice. This is the first year in probably it's a long time I've not really invested much in football this year. That's just because most of the guys I watch are retired now, so I don't really know a lot of the guys that are left. That's it. You drink your milk there. You got some cookies? I actually have some Girl Scout cookies. You want some cookies? I should have got some.
I don't have any cookies.
I could have gone. What's that?
I don't have any cookies.
I could send you some. I have the Girl Scout, the peanut butter and chocolate. They're fantastic.
Oh, that sounds good.
I should have got some milk. We got some groceries. I should have got milk. Never thought of it. I thought of it. Here. Let me ask you that. Here's a good question. Now, I've been figuring this out. For a lot of you guys too at home, this is probably not uncommon for you, but do you ever have this where whenever you go shopping, you plan to go shopping, now a lot of times we put an online order, so we'll order it online from the store, go pick it up, and they bring it out to you, etc. Save some time. I think that's kind of the new craze. It's been going on for the last several years, but the thing I always hate is, and I usually try to think about what to put on the grocery list when putting an order in, but it almost seems inevitable that at some point, no matter what it is, I always seem to forget something. And then you remember it right after you already put the order in. I'm like, shoot. Like, ugh. And, I mean, it's not necessarily... I don't think I've ever had it where it's been, like, super crazy or super out of control or weird. But it's just kind of one of those things where... it's annoying. Because it's like... I try very, very hard not to forget stuff. And... I usually, I'll think about it, run it through a couple times through my mind just to keep it fresh, and I feel like I got it, and I feel like I'm not going to forget, and I feel like everything is great. It just, for some reason, doesn't correlate. I don't understand it. So, I don't know. Maybe I just have to write it down. I should probably try to write it down and won't write it out. But see, then again, you waste paper. It's a whole thing. Like, I almost feel like it's one of those you're doomed to fail just because... you have to go that extra mile and take those extra steps, which, in most cases, is just something that, I guess it's going to have to happen. But I don't know. I find it really severely irritating at times, and it always never seems to fail. And I try to catch myself ahead of time so that I don't do it when I don't do it on purpose, and I don't usually ever do it on purpose, but it just always seems to catch myself doing it. Like, again, I forgot one time I think I wanted to get cereal. I forgot cereal or milk or something. Like, it's just little things. It's not always a big... I'd be probably more pissed at myself if I forgot something big. But it's usually something small that people are, on average would be like, well, why are you stressing about that? It's no big deal. Normally I don't, and I really don't stress about it. But it's just, I don't know, it's irritating when it keeps happening to me. So I guess if you got suggestions, let me know too, because I'd love to hear some. I'm sure you have creative ways in how you handle that so you don't forget. It's funny how people take notes nowadays. Now, obviously, we're spoiled with We've got like our Alexas and our Googles and all that stuff where we can do reminders. Like we have the shopping list feature there. You can do that. Technology is wonderful. It really is. And we've shared it before. We talked about it before. I even think you use your Alexa there too, right? You have Alexa hooked up there, right? And it really comes in handy. Like, what do you use for it? Do you use it for anything other than just general stuff? Do you set timers or anything? Like, what kind of features?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody does.
Just
We don't
shopping
usually.
list, listen to music,
Yeah, usual stuff,
check
right?
the weather, check the time.
That's about what we do. There's so many other features I've heard you can do, but again, it's neat because we're spoiled in this day and age by what we are able to utilize with technology. And again, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. We've all been there. We understand, that sometimes it just can be a blessing and a curse depending on where you're sitting, how it looks at it. I mean, again, I've been on both sides of that, so but yeah, there is always that. But it's interesting when people get creative and they figure out different ways for things. It's just one of those. I'm always impressed. I'm always amazed when you find something new or somebody does something that's different. It's like, okay, and then there's times like I feel like a lot of people nowadays use. I don't personally, but I know people like go on TikTok and things for. There's some people using like the how-to videos. Like I usually find helpful on YouTube. YouTube has been great where you can find different things, different answers for things. Like Hoss said too. You can go on to Amazon and Alexa for that too and ask questions for that. You can Google search. Like we are so spoiled by the technology advancements that we've got that and again it does make life easier, but not all the time. And here's another good point. I want to mention this, and I feel like we've dived into this, and let's talk about this because, as we said, Hoss is not too much younger than I am, but so let's go back a little bit. Now you remember when you're growing up, especially when you were going to school, right?
Yeah.
Now we didn't have the technology. I never had a tablet going to school. Like some schools now, you get tablets going in. I can almost guarantee you never had a tablet when you went to school, right? So you're spoiled by that. The problem is a lot of kids don't learn how to use the old method of paper and pencil. And that's unfortunate because what happens, like, I use this scenario, and it might sound crazy, but what happens if there's a blackout? No power, no internet, no nothing. What are you going to do? Oh, I got my device. Yeah, but okay, let's assume none of your devices are charged and you have nothing. What do you do? Like, how do you communicate? How are you prepared? You know what I'm saying? There's always that there's always that concept of if you don't know how to do it, like even something simple of, what was it? I read somewhere it said have a point where having batteries in the flashlight, using a flashlight. It's simple basic skills that if you're not prepared for, then you're going to be stuck. And again, I don't fault anybody in particular. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, and sometimes we're more adept at things than others, but you should have a basic idea because you just never know. Being prepared always helps. So I just feel like anymore now, and like even like kids, like, cell phones. Again, I see this with a lot of kids, and I'm like, how do you have a cell phone at like 10 years old? I never had a cell phone at 10. Like, my first cell phone I got at 16, and it was one of the flip phones. It wasn't a smartphone, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I'm talking like you're growing up. We didn't have the smartphones at that time when we were like in the early teens. Could you imagine? Like, think about this. Now, if you went back to when you say like 10 years ago, because you'd be like, well, let's say a little bit more. You'd be like in your late teens. What would you do if you had a smartphone back then? Like, it would just be crazy, right?
I had no clue.
It would just be nuts. It would just go absolutely bonkers because we've never seen it before. But the difference would be, and I remember because my parents did that. I had a cell phone, but I had to work for it because I had to make sure I paid. Well, we didn't have a bill. You got a minutes card, but every month I had to buy minutes to put on my phone so that I could use it. And I was always careful. I had friends call me. I'm like, listen, if you're gonna call, here's how old you are. So I had to tell people, look, if you're going to call me after 9 p.m. because part of my plan was I get calls for free and I don't use any minutes. So I'm like, because I had a friend one time would call me, he'd be like talking to me for like 2 hours and like zapping all of my minutes. If I said, don't call me before 9 p.m. because on the weekends you can call me because I get unlimited minutes. because I'm like, if you do that, because there was one time where I had just purchased like a minutes card, and in one phone call I used more than half of my minutes, and I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me, like, seriously. So, you're not. A lot of kids are spoiled when you get a phone like that, and I think that causes a lot of problems too when kids are texting. Like, you ever watch? Here's what's funny. I've seen these on YouTube. I don't know if you ever seen these. Kids that get their technology destroyed because like they don't do something, or it's kind of hilarious when like their cell phones or their Xboxes or PlayStations, whatever. But I'm not saying it's fun seeing the kids get upset by it, but it's the idea that why I say that, there was an instance where there was one kid who apparently dad had warned him about going over his time, because they had a family plan where you share the minutes and stuff, or data usage, and he kept going over the data usage. And if you go over your data, you got to pay more in the bill every month.
Yeah.
So dad came down, he had a hammer in his hand, and the kid's like, what are you doing? I'm going to destroy your phone. Why are you going to destroy my phone? Because I told you before, you went over minutes. If you did it again, and he smashes it with the mallet. It starts steaming and smoking, and I'm like, wow, okay. But, again, kids are younger. You can't be, I know I would totally be, probably be irresponsible at that age with a cell phone. So how it is that kids at 10 years old get cell phones, and then again, I get the whole safety feature, and it's nice where parents can communicate with the kids. You have your idea where they are. There's a lot of parents turn on the tracker on their kids' phone, so the GPS, where they are. But it's just hard when you're not responsible, and a lot of kids aren't, because they don't pay the bill for that. They don't understand. It can make for a lot of hardships and interesting conversations with family. So I had that with my parents. My dad said that one time, when I was on my family plan, we had Verizon at the time, and I paid my dues. It was $50 a month. My dad said, you don't have to pay me for the landline, for the lineage use. Just pay me for the internet, which I did. So I gave my money every month. And the one month he said to me, he was going over the bills, and he's like, did you go over your data? And I said, no, not that I didn't. Well, here what happened was, so my allotment, my allowance for my data usage was 5 gigs a month. That was the plan we had. And according to the bill from Verizon, for 1 month, it said I used 11 gigs, which is more than 2 months' worth in less than a month. And I said, that can't be right. And fortunately, as most of our phones do, if you go on in your phone, your account on there, which I pulled up, I showed my dad, here's the account on my phone. You can see I used, I think, 1.3 gigs of data so far, not 11. So we called Verizon and said to him, and I said, put me on the phone with them. I'm like, I did not use that. So mistakes happen, but all these little things can get frustrating, can wreak a lot of havoc, and cause problems, especially when you don't look at the bill entirely. That's a whole other conversation. But it's just interesting now, getting older and seeing all these changes. Like, same thing with, we have Liquid Crystal TV, the HD TVs, and I'm sure you probably had one as a kid. You remember the old box TVs? You had the big box there. It wasn't the we had one. You know how you have to pop open the control panel and adjust the color because the color starts to go, so you have to it was and
I
then,
gotta go because my pills kicked in.
oh, your pills kicked in? Alright, that's fine. Yeah, we're gonna end pretty soon anyway, so tell everybody good night, and we'll catch them next weekend for the show, okay?
Alright, everybody, good night.
Alright, we'll talk soon, dude. Have a good night.
Alright, talk to you later.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those nights. Big Hoss, I can tell he's getting sleepy there, and I'm glad he gets some rest though, because it's tough. But you guys know what I mean. It's just some of these things. It's again, I love the technology. I love seeing the growth of it all. I love seeing how the advancements in trying to help out with a lot of things. But at the same time, there's always pros and cons, just like with everything. No matter how advanced you get, no matter how technologically savvy things get, or all that sort of stuff, there's always going to be some drawbacks. So I guess it's just the way life goes for that one. But it's still great. And again, I'm not saying it's terrible, and I'm not knocking it, and I'm just saying, when you got to step back and look at it and realize that You know, it's there's always something more to it. And again, they always say if something is too good to be true, it usually is. So I'm a big believer and fan of that. But that's just kind of where, you know, that kind of rolls in that situation. But, you know, again, I'm sure a lot of you guys understand that. But it's just some advice, too, especially if you're a younger listener, too, there. Just, you know, kind of stretch that out. Think about it. You know, don't, you know, especially if your parents entrusted you, like, with a cell phone, or you have those kind of responsibilities, just, you know, think about that a little bit and understand there's a lot more gravity to it than what might appear to be. And I'm not saying don't have fun, and I'm not saying you can't indulge and enjoy yourself, but, you know, just allow yourself to understand that, you know, again, this is cliche and insane, but with great power comes great responsibility. I never fully understood that till I got older. And I figured I would at some point, but I couldn't say with all certainty just because. So that's kind of where that falls in that for that. So let's recalibrate. Let's take a little break here. I want to come back and talk about the big game weekend. We might try to do a special for the sports show, but I want to kind of chat about this just a little bit, just in case, because I know, like I said, it's going to be a busy Sunday. I don't know if we'll get time for that. So this might be kind of a little plug for a sports moment here. We'll talk about that because a lot of great things we can do. Talk about some fun things for game day weekend. You know, if you guys want to chat with us right now, we're still able to do so, you can. We'd love to hear you. Let us know what some of your plans are for the big game. I mean, everybody has something different typically that they do. So let us know. We'd love to hear and to talk with you about it and see what you know, learn something new. Maybe we can figure out a way to get some new ideas, fresh ideas. I'm always looking for fun stuff on top of that too. So we'll talk more about that. We will see what else we got going on here. Get some other maybe announcements there. There's not too many going on there, but we'll kind of fill in there too as well. Either way, we're just kicking it back. It's Saturday night. You guys know how we like to do it here. We like to chill and relax there. It's kind of the waning hours of the evening too, but it's always a good time and we enjoy it. So stick around. We'll have some more coming up here. What's Up Bro podcast show brought to you by J&J Production Studios, your number one true home for entertainment. And please remember, check us out. Linktree.com/J_J Production Studios. All of the social media accounts where we're on, you can follow us there and keep up with us, keep track of everything there, as well as all the streaming services where our podcast shows can be found. You can download new episodes today. Take us with you on the go wherever you want to go. Listen online or listen at your own pleasure whenever you have time. Studio merchandise at the studio store. Check it out. Link is there as well. And, of course, we haven't said it for a while, too. But remember, you guys, if you want to, and you don't have to, but we also have our Patreon. We offer special content there that we don't have anywhere else. If you want to support us, which we greatly appreciate, we got some pretty low-level key tiers. You can get your subscription membership there. All proceeds go to help us upgrade the show, get better equipment, things like that. We try to give back to you as well, so we just roll it right back in. So if you feel you want to support us in that way, we greatly appreciate it. Don't have to, of course, but it's an option. It's available. But that would be an incentive where we can offer some unique stuff that you won't find anywhere else there, of course. Check it out there as well. We have that up there. And, of course, the link for all of our other podcasts. You can check it out. Different shows there. We're still working on some scheduling, and we're going to see if we can incorporate some other stuff to do as well. So, all that great stuff and more. February, we're already in. Middle of February coming up. It's going to be a quick year, I feel like. Summer's going to be here before we know it. It's like living in a cycle, a Twilight Zone, deja vu over and over again. But we're going to make the most of it, and we hope you guys will come along for the journey. We love having you with us. We love to be here with you guys as well. We look forward to it every single chance we can do it. And, of course, it never gets old. We're glad to be here, as well having you guys with us. So, come on back then. We'll see you shortly. Right after this, stay tuned for more. Do not go away. Don't want to miss it.
audio fans, are you looking for fun and excitement? Have you been searching for that special show? You know, the one complete package you want in a podcast? Then check out the What's Up Bro podcast show and experience what true entertainment is all about. Stay tuned and don't miss the action. Available on your favorite streaming services, including YouTube. Thank you for all your support. And as always, we'll see you at the show.
We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
Hey there, do you love podcasts? Are you having difficulty finding the right ones to listen to? Is it frustrating when you're trying to pick that show? You know, the one where everyone must collectively agree on? Like finding a good movie or TV show to watch, do you look for the most jam-packed entertainment that's possible to find in a single episode every week? Then search no more, and welcome to J&J Production Studios. It's our business to provide the best entertainment and information available for you. Whether you're sitting in that comfy chair with your favorite snack and beverage listening live each week, or downloading your favorite show episodes to take with you on the go while you're at work, exercising, or even just to play at night for you to fall asleep to. There's something for everyone, no matter what size, shape, or age you are. Visit www.linktree.com/J_J Production Studios to find all the streaming services where our podcast shows can be found. You can also connect with us on your favorite social media platforms, including Facebook and Twitter. You can join our public Discord server and chat directly with us. But wait, there's more. You can subscribe to our official YouTube channel and be notified every time a new show is broadcast. Wish you could have some studio souvenirs or collectibles? Guess what? You can. Visit the official store where you can purchase items featuring your favorite podcast and show hosts. Would you like to help support us? You can do that by getting your very own exclusive membership on our Patreon account. All proceeds go to help us upgrade our shows, which will only enhance the entertainment provided to you. Thank you so much. We're excited to have you as an audience. Your love and support are always appreciated. We'll see you soon.
Break time is over. We're so glad you stayed tuned. Now back to the action as the show is set to resume.
Alright, welcome back, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out, for just tuning in. Welcome. This is the What's Up Bro podcast show, brought to you by the one and only J&J Production Studios, your one true home for entertainment. We decided to take a little extra long break there just to get a little bit of music there, take a good chance to recalibrate. We're going to actually get ready to wrap up here soon. We'll end a little bit earlier tonight. Big Hoss has signed off for the night because he is starting to fall asleep. He is taking his meds for the evening. So, sweet dreams there, big guy. We'll see you soon there. We do want to close things out, though, tonight and incorporate a little bit of sort of the sports show method for that. I do want to get the fire going here. Where did my clicker go? The mouse. There we go. I'm not sure if you guys probably don't hear it as much as I do, but it just kind of gives me a little something extra so I'm not dead silent in my headset here. But anyway, we do want to merge this a little bit with the What's Up Bro Sports Show because I was hoping we could get another episode of that out before Super Bowl Sunday tomorrow, but I don't think that might happen just because of the timing of everything tomorrow I got going on. So we're going to use this time to kind of merge in and just kind of do a very short and sweet final playoff prediction. Going to give you some thoughts on a couple little stories that have been coming out that I found interesting as well. So let's just dive in. You guys know, if you don't know, then obviously you haven't been paying attention, but tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. in Las Vegas, Nevada, kicks off. It is Super Bowl 58. The Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers square off to see who will be the new NFL World Champion. Now, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be good. Both teams are good. Both teams have had up and down moments. I've given my prediction. I've given it to some friends and family. I'm going to stick to it. My final prediction, I don't have an actual score, though. Let's see if we can make one up here. I got to see. I think it's going to be a decent scoring game. I'm going to say I have the Niners winning it by 7. That was my prediction there. So I'm going to say 28-21, 49ers become Super Bowl champions to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs, dethrone them as champions. There you have it. Short and sweet and to the point. Team-wise, they're pretty much matched up fairly even. I think the defense for the Niners is better than the Kansas City. That's the only major thing. Everything else, I think, they're pretty equal across the board. So, head coaching, got to give it to Andy Reid, of course. You know, he's had success here in Kansas City. So, but and of course, maybe offense. I mean, you got Mahomes and Kelsey there still. So, I mean, Purdy's having a great year, and so they got Kittle there as well, and a great young offense. But otherwise, I think you're pretty equal across the board. So that's my prediction. I say the Niners win and become Super Bowl champions there in Las Vegas. So feel free to disagree if you want to share some insight there. And if you want to give me just your thoughts, please feel free to do so. You can hit us up on social media, anywhere you want to reach out to us and let us know your thoughts there. I'd love to hear it. I'm sure everybody has going to have a different viewpoint. And, of course, it could go either way. Some years I've gotten it right, some years I've gotten it wrong, so we'll have to see. But that's just what I am sticking with. But I also want to just mention here quickly, there's a couple interesting little stories around the NFL that I think are worth noting. And one of them I was reading today because this has been sort of the hot topic buzz. We did talk about this on the sports show on the last episode, but longtime head coach Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots parting ways after almost a quarter of a century together. Did anybody see that coming? Well, yeah, I did actually, of course, and I predicted that. So, and exactly happened in fashion the way I said. What's interesting, though, is, and I know I shared this, and I led this as a belief that it looked like the only team that had interviewed Coach Belichick was the Atlanta Falcons. They had 2 in-person interviews, and they wined and dined him. And according to multiple reports, it looked as if he was the candidate to be, and almost certain that he would be hired as the Falcons' new head coach. But in a stunning move, the Falcons ended up hiring an old fan favorite there, Raheem Morris, who has spent time as the defensive coordinator with the Los Angeles Rams. He was with Atlanta as an assistant coach, and of course has had previous experience as the head coach in Tampa Bay with the Bucs about almost a decade ago, if you can believe it. Yes, I know, I'm not old. But what's interesting about the story arc, and I have shared this, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I got mixed emotions. So everybody knows, it's not uncommon to know. If you don't know, you should know. When Belichick at the Patriots all those years, he was not only the coach, he was the GM. He had a lot of control over player personnel. He had the power, one ring to rule them all. No, I'm kidding. But very similar in that regard. The belief was that he would want that sort of same role in a new system that a lot of teams were probably not going to want to give to him. So that was the belief. That's what caused him not to get this job. However, Falcons owner Arthur Blank I believe it was on the Pat McAfee show, kind of said he wanted to set the record straight, said Belichick never asked for control, and he was never offered the job. They had talked, but regardless of reports saying that it was going to be offering him the job, it never happened. So what went wrong? These are some of the things going on there. Why didn't Coach Belichick land a job? What, just not the right fit? I mean, when you look at a lot of teams, there's going to be head coaching jobs coming up next year. I fully believe, and I'll do this short surmise for that Coach Belichick will be back in a coaching role next year. Not this year, but probably next year. I don't think he's done yet. You just got to wait for that right role. And I think there's going to be some opportunities there. I don't want to speculate. I know it's been talked about possibly Philly, Dallas, maybe Kansas City even. There's rumor that if Andy Reid, Coach Reid retires, if they do win the Super Bowl tomorrow, that could be it. Who knows? But the bottom line is I think there will be a position open. I think he will have an opportunity. It's just a matter of finding the right place. So I think that's the case. But it's just interesting to note because one of the greats, like even when Tom Brady left, like everybody had to at least think about signing him, talking to him, et cetera, et cetera. And in that case, Tom had no problem finding a new team, a new home, and of course won another Super Bowl. But Coach Belichick seemed to have a different approach. But I guess coaching and being a player is two different things, obviously. So I guess that's part of it. But it's interesting nonetheless. What was the other story? There was one other one I was going to mention. I'm trying to think. I've seen so many of them. I read a lot of them. Well, kudos to, I saw tonight, the Patriots making another addition there. Former player Dante Hightower, who I think is loved watching him play there, was hired as the new linebackers coach, which he was a linebacker for the team when he was a player. Fantastic move. It's great. I think New England is putting some good pieces there. They got a lot of work to do to rebuild, but they're off to a good start. There is that. I think there was another. What was the other storyline that's been brewing there? I know there was another one. I just can't think of the top of my head. Let me just pull up ESPN real quick. I want to see. I don't know if it's something that I saw recently. If it is, it would be on the top list. Let's see. Let's close that out. This doesn't keep jumping on me. Maybe not. There was another one. I forget. Well, okay. I can't remember. If I do, maybe I can share it later date. But that was the big one with Coach Belichick. Obviously, that was huge. And congrats. There was one. It was not the one I was thinking of, but congrats. Lamar Jackson winning his league MVP, which is great. Hoping Baltimore has a chance to come back. I'd really like to see him get a ring before his time is done. So, and again, you're not getting any younger. Same thing with the Chiefs. And, so I think it's just a matter of seeing what happens there. But I hope for the best for them and see how that goes there as well. Let's just see here. This is an area where we have coaching going in. Nope. I don't think so. That's interesting. Huh. Well, at any rate, there you go, you guys. Hopefully, it should be a good game nevertheless. That's what I'm hoping for. And hopefully we'll see who the victor is. The best team, may the best team win, and that's usually the case that happens there. So whoever wants it more will get it. We'll have to see how that goes. Hope you guys have some fun. Even if you don't love football, you're not a diehard fan, you can have a good party. We're having a party, as I said, with my family, and we can play games and do different things. The guys, obviously, we watch the game, but just find something you can do. And again, it's a great opportunity to connect for family time. And I got to say, I know the women of my family are not huge football fans, but they love the time to spend together. So it's a great way to really just be all in one place, and it's just a great excuse to have a great party with some great food and all that fun stuff. So definitely hope you guys are going to have a wonderful kick-ass time, as they say. Whether if it's something, it doesn't have to be a huge, large party. If it's something small, that's fine. But either way, that's just, it's awesome. It's a great opportunity, and everybody took advantage of that. But regardless, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your weekend, too, and a great Sunday. Obviously, it's still the weekend, so we can still enjoy it. But whatever you choose to do, everybody has different things they love to do. Be you, be yourself, and just enjoy the moment, enjoy life, and don't take anything for granted. Of course, we say this, and we say it often, but we mean it. Life is precious and life is short, and we want you to make the most of it, as much of the opportunity as you can get, because none of us are guaranteed a tomorrow, and we just don't know from one minute to the next what could happen. So make the most of your opportunities and enjoy it, and enjoy family, keep loved ones close. Focus on things that are important for you. Don't waste time on and don't sweat the small stuff. Focus on big things only and important things that matter most. So, for all of us here at J&J Production Studios, let's stop our fire real quick, because now I need to have that to do that. There we go. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, you guys. We'll be back for more great fun. We're going to have more content coming out. We'll get some more episodes out from the other podcast, too. We're still working on some scheduling there, but it's coming. We promise. We're just everybody's crazy busy. Life always just happens, so bear with us. It is a priority. We are working on it. It will happen, so we'll get it there. We promise you that. Keep staying in touch with us there, too. Follow us on social media. Make sure you check it out there on your every favorite platform. You can follow us on every platform if you want. We always update everything there, but you'll know what's happening as soon as we know. And we'll keep you guys tied up and tight in the loop. Have a great rest of your Saturday night, you guys. We love you all so much. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. We couldn't do this without you. You just mean the world to us. You're the reason why we get on the microphone, and we hope that we deliver as much of the enthusiasm and love that we put into this. We hope that you get just as much out of it as we do. So thank you for being here. Take care. Love you all. See you all very soon. Good night and goodbye for now. Of course, and as always, and forevermore it shall be, until next time, when we see you at the show.
Thank you for listening to the What's Up Bro show. Catch all the latest live action on your favorite podcast streaming services, including Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. You can also check out episodes on the studio's official YouTube channel. Subscribe and become a member today. Don't forget to also turn on notifications so you'll know when new content is uploaded. Stay tuned and don't miss a single moment. We love and appreciate all your support. And as always, we will see you at the show.